Arabian for memo watching, memo ha, memo wajo, eba Milo TV because of video. So depending upon time we share me video immediately depends because you am similar. Me a YouTuber Toronto and me background. Ghanaian and today be a Kagan and some and me the assembly to him say yen time ani no we never had this opportunity say ye ba Canada ana sempo time ani ye tu kwan aba Canada na yenye obi say oh me frɛ asumasi me frɛ obenten na me na di nkomo na wa mama kwankyerɛ wa mama nimdie bi especially in Bedu port of entry especially after port of entry amawura system no mu no se me hwɛ adwuma me hia obi a me hwɛ accommodation me hia obi a me hwɛ lawyer be regulated Canadian immigration lawyer na consultant bi a ni nyina no owura bi a friend Kobna Boatin and wa merge Ghanaian YouTubers and ne obehwɛ a ya kan ye ho obom and ye boy nuanam Ghana for Toronto Canada Milo TV gonna have fun bare bim bare boom bare bem yeah subscribe say na first time I will like it now I comment na fe wa share me ba twa nyina ye boaboa yen ho nti ensem I call fi an very simple so we be ba na ofre or reach out to us na o mo bi a de be boa na ye boa no obi kura be frɛ na oye transit o se sinamilo me bedu a officer de na besi se ni se na ma che so oh ada na one frame ntem and what the ye betimi dia boa bia no we try to help our dear people Milo TV Toronto Canada. But then disclaimer me the assembly to monim said there are some people using my name on social media but you people are using my name many Erico videos via couple of years ago and they be more tase and wakika boom and wetwitwa akika siso and na take advantage AUC yen din yam brand and say yen ne ye say yen ne to say and because of that no so be here mo bi to Canada nipa no betumi aboa wo mo na waji sika bi na waye say no de amaye sune mpa chopi say otisa jaye say who take advantage of me say who use me din e de agije usika please put a stop to it. I've never informed OPPR said on use me din fankoju obisika no way but you tell pa uti bibia reach out to me in person offer me amenu bedi nkomo me wolu man okasem bi wose nanum kankan eso no dokono die tell pa mpa o chow enti take me out of that issue sa ne manema munyi me mfrim I'm not part and parcel of it. I've never informed nobody say onsi nkonya na onye bibi mfamu obi sa omra Canada anase mpo obi pe document no way pamucho pi muntie ni ye na wonso a wasesa menema wo de yesa no please put a stop to it mempe afiechie abofunu bia okay Milo TV Toronto Canada bare bim bare boom bare bem yeah alright busuya na ebedi nkomo ewo mekasa fidie so obi bia nim say the number and when you come to Toronto aha any breaking news am obi bia tibi abusuya yam fa nko achi kakra be a couple of months ago I think say 2 months ago and yewura Donald Trump nay or ye president Emma United States of America but you only say US they are up to 50 states almost states in mako 50 but you tini pa Columbus New York Oklahoma kikabika honi enko yenim California Rhode Island baby so many different a comprises of 50 states and ya kabum ena ababeye baako ena oyi president ena odinetna abanwa so say won to nensa na won hwe oman ni nyina so but then okọ babia Canada ya province USA state enti okọ te say okọ California omo te say local government e wo ho pa che say local government na say apart from the head we president no te say Donald Trump no ono nechi no say wo ba local side na osi California omo onse ebrebi kura na ye governor wo honom this actor Arnold Schwarzenegger nti sanete na bra adufudi ade mpanisi mu ha ete say abo onwam ne ntakra na de kuta ono wan hwesu yi a be firi won sawo Donald Trump ebetena banya no so no ena one Canada Prime Minister your friend Justin Pierre Trudeau ekotena ase to nsa edidiye no mo didi wie na mo te wo mo tete atete nkomo la live bi no convo na ena Donald Trump hwe Justin Trudeau ani no say bra pa ti pa we dey nka mo bi anti o nka mpese me de Canada me 51st state ena Trudeau say wo dey asem na aka no masa ja asem no na we dey wo tutu ayampie bo keka nsem bi a achwe yehwe ya na Donald Trump ababonten dia beto social media say ono epese oje den oje Canada eka US hona ba ma minka se minchiro say eba nsase a landscape na land nsase no Canada e won nsase esen USA bere nipa e wo California nko ano beye 3 years ago na nipa embegu Canada bebre no na nipa e wo California nko ano Los Angeles no mo do so sen nipa wo Canada Toronto Canada milo TV gonna have fun bare bim bare boom bare bem subscribe we are like no comment no share me ba che BBC ya pick your phone go to Mr. Google na ye research na hwe and sema e wo ho no sometimes and sem bi wo ha ye can ye nyina we do research before we come on air to spread this information enti Trump oguso okeka sansensem no na opposition Canada so obehwe a Trudeau was stepping down say abato o mo betui Trudeau is still Canada's prime minister but you need power Canada prime minister but abato na o mo betu no November coming November no e no say da bi sune onye part and parcel wa twene ho aye den was step aside but what dey make say now ye wo wura bi a ye friend no Pierre Poilievre wo ye opposition leader. Okay, enti sa one party no ye wo Libra Justin Trudeau and a conservative and so Pierre Poilievre. Na Poilievre babontin and what it be ma Donald Trump. I say Trump dia asem na wo ka no. Mempa bon afabo. Wona se hasu wate. Na wo anya bia ye man ya timu a ye papa mo abeko agi independence amaye a wodi wo moja kronkron ahwiegu asase so amaye timu a ye sa emu nsade edi a ene ye nso eni age no. Why do you have to say that? Na ukra no se owura fi amekai na anu ada wo say an wo tututu niemam duty eniema ye de ba US eniema US de ba wo ba be ye say owura sansensem no ye ntwema wo abusua momien ko straight na ensema ye refer no Pierre Poilievre titima Donald Trump ni yentie bi.
My message to incoming President Trump is that first and foremost, Canada will never be the 51st state of the US. We have a heroic history, a great people, and a very proud future ahead of us. And the president has raised concerns about our border and the government's destruction of our military. Well, we should reinforce our border to stop fentanyl, guns, stolen cars, not just for President Trump, but for our own people after 9 years of Trudeau losing control of the border. And we need to rebuild our military to protect our continent and our country against Chinese and Russian submarines and spy balloons, terrorists, and other risks. And to rebuild that military with a warrior culture, not a woke culture. Finally, on the trade issue, what I'd say to President Trump is, look, yeah, we have a trade surplus with you, but that's because we're basically donating you our raw materials and letting American workers profit from $100 billion of underpriced Canadian oil and gas so they get the money and the jobs. I would be more than happy to bring that home. And that's why I will repeal all the insane anti-energy and anti-resource laws the NDP Liberals have passed so we can liquefy, upgrade, and transport our own natural resources and bring powerful paychecks home for our people.
Canada first. And that is why common sense conservatives condemn President Trump's massive, unjust, and unjustified tariffs, which will damage both American and Canadian economies. Canada is the United States' closest friend, greatest ally, and most important neighbor. We share the longest undefended border. We fought alongside the Americans in 2 world wars, Korea and Afghanistan, where we lost 158 of our brilliant young men and women to avenge the attacks of 9/11 on New York and Washington. There is no justification whatsoever for these tariffs or this treatment. Canada will never be the 51st state. We are an independent, proud, and strong nation. I'd like to speak first to our American friends. You are our friends. You are our neighbors. We share the longest undefended border in the history of the world. You buy our products, and we buy yours. You have a trade surplus with us when energy is excluded. And when it is included, the deal is even better for you because you buy our oil and our gas at massive price discounts. Not because we're nice Canadians, but because here at home we've made really dumb decisions to prevent us from exporting our energy to any other countries. But either way, Americans are better off with this friendship. We share a continent, we share the same risks and the same potential enemies from around the world. Those kinds of enemies can metastasize into real dangers and actual attacks, as you saw suddenly and unexpectedly on 9/11. It's good to have friends when those sorts of things happen. And let me ask my American friends this question. Even if you believe in tariffs, how is it possible to put a 25% tariff on Canada and only a 10% tariff on China? In what strategic mindset does that make sense? If it's to do with fentanyl, the fentanyl is coming from China. It's killing our people too. We both have to do more to stop it, but we can do more when we do it together. Now, here at home, my message to the Liberal government: put aside partisan interests and recall Parliament. It is insane that in this great crisis, Parliament is shut down to deal with a crisis and a power struggle within the Liberal Party. Let's put aside partisan, political interests and recall Parliament to pass into place a common-sense Canada First plan. And here's that plan. 1, we must retaliate dollar for dollar, carefully aiming those tariffs at maximizing the impact on American companies while minimizing the impact on Canadian. We must maximize the impact on American companies while minimizing the impact on Canadian consumers and businesses. That means targeting U.S. products that A, we can do without, B, we can buy elsewhere, or C, best of all, that we can make here at home. That best example of that would be steel and aluminum. We make the best and cleanest steel and aluminum here, but we've lost a lot of jobs to China and the United States. We should put tariffs on American steel and aluminum so that we can bring home that production to this country. 2, the tariffs must not be a tax grab. None of the money from the tariffs should stay in government coffers or be spent on unrelated government priorities. All of it should go back to the workers and businesses that are affected, and most of it should go back in the form of a massive tax cut. And that is why I'm calling for the passage of an immediate emergency bring-it-home tax cut. The tax cut would be designed to save jobs, create jobs, crush inflation, and boost our economy. We need to cut taxes on work, investment, energy, home building, and making stuff at home. Let's start by axing the Liberal carbon tax and the Liberal capital gains tax hike. They should be the first on the chopping block. 4, we must immediately scrap the Liberal anti-energy law C-69 and greenlight job-creating projects now. That includes LNG plants, pipelines, mines, factories, port expansions, so that we can get our products to overseas markets without going through and profiting the United States. It was insane for us to block our industries before this crisis It is a fatal mistake now. No longer can we tolerate special interests, politicians, and worst of all, corporate lobbyists who profit by shutting down industries, blocking resources in Canada while profiting off them in Brazil, the Middle East, China, and elsewhere. We must bring home production and self-reliance to our country. Which brings me to 5. We need to knock down interprovincial trade barriers to have truly free trade across our country. We are in this state because we sell twice as much to the Americans as we sell to ourselves. These interprovincial barriers are destructive. They kill jobs, they drive up consumer prices, and they cost the average family $6,000 a year. Let's knock them down, and let's be a truly free trading economy ourselves. 6, we must rebuild our military and take back control of our borders to regain the confidence of our partners, assert our sovereignty, protect our people, and put Canada first. Let us be clear. Our border needs to be taken back into our control, not to please the President, but to protect our own people. The fact that we have 20,000 to 500,000 people here illegally, according to the government, was a problem before these tariffs. The fact that we've lost 47,000 people to fentanyl overdoses should never have been allowed to happen. We must secure our border to stop the guns that are killing our people. 85% of gun crime is done with illegal guns smuggled over the border. We must secure our border, again, to protect our own people and save the lives of our own children. And we must rebuild our military to protect our sovereignty, assert our strength, and keep our nation strong and free. Finally, we must lock arms with American economic interests that favor Canada, the workers and businesses that depend on trade with Canada should be marshaled to pressure the administration to back down. We must go to key states that will be up for grabs in the congressional elections 2 years from now and let their congressmen and senators know that they will be running on a bad economic record if refinery workers have lost jobs because Canadian oil can no longer make it to them, or if young families can't buy homes because lumber is even more expensive for home builders, or families that are already suffering from inflation are paying more for gas because our energy has become more expensive due to American tariffs. We must lock arms with all of those economic interests in the states to build an American coalition against the tariffs and in favor of free trade between our two great countries. As always, we will stand strong with growing confidence. We are the second biggest landmass in the world, 41 million brilliant people, the third biggest supply of oil, fifth biggest supply of natural gas, biggest supply of uranium and potash. We have not 1, 2, or 3 coasts. We have, if you include the Great Lakes, we actually have 4 coasts that can take us to tide water. We have the biggest supply of fresh water anywhere on Earth, the 5th biggest supply of farmland. We should be the richest nation on Earth. These tariffs are a wake-up call that it is time for us to meet our potential. It is time for us to be a country that can trade with itself, a country that builds homes quickly for its youth, a country that allows entrepreneurs to succeed quickly and profitably so that success is once again rewarded, a country that allows hard work to pay off, a country that harvests its own resources, that secures its borders to protect its people, that builds its military to protect its sovereignty, unites its people to protect our common history and common future. We will always put Canada first, today, tomorrow, and forever. Let's bring it home.
Thank you. We'll now take.
Sɛ wakotie biaba na kyɛ sɛ nsɛm a owura no ɔno nso Pierre Poilievre our opposition leader Emma Conservative Party me ba cho time wa me ba 15 years ago na ori friend Stephen Harper ono and na oye prime minister Emma Canada na that party was conservative and sana achi ombeto aba ama yewura your friend Justin Pierre Trudeau abetina abanya no so watena so be emfi nhia makoma enkono eni enti ya do time I was say sanity no so step aside about to beto no he's not gonna enti minim the month of March I likely said meka Libra ebia omodo obi be babo nten se ono ena e ba be den o ba be gina e de ama eye eku a ye frɛ no Libra no abusia yen tumirika na ye mfamo enko eye Canada wo mu ahinkuro a ene ye frɛ no Ottawa se Ottawa nso se Ottawa now and hwehwe ya bedam e wo immigration side che se India for amamuwa ne mmabaawa empanimfo atintiri ne amnintin nyina nipa beye se 20 we India for mo ba krodium budget ni before se me ba second one so no India for ba Canada pa ebi mo ba there was this guy omo amane jail sentence over Vancouver of 4G niema bi ene ma India international students bi eden ebe rura mu e wo krodium mu nti oko 3 years okay oko 3 years now eno na chi no Canada for e de niema bi egu nsani ani ene wo hwehwe man hu se nipa bi ba so mo be ko school budget ni o omo ba Canada so mo be ko school but then on be do ye no budget mama sa check records na information sisi ya on be do ye no omo check ye hu se eti emamu ane ema ya be 20,000 wonya kwanya within be say a year or two ba Canada no adenti na ba kokura an step ne fit awo school mu masa Canada India for no ba Canada no nipa be 20,000 international students obi amfa ne na nyeden nsi school mu Jack adena ayo ti na se nsem kakra and nso efri ho airbar no nti ama Canada for na immigration for no oma style kakra nti obehwe a Pierre Poilievre woda eye conservative ekuna no on dey o kan sempi o sese onya kwanya na obetena abanwa no so wo Canada ha ye beto aba aka be 8 months or so ya ye beto aba yi se ye to aba na so no betena abanwa no so a obekwa akofa huhuamoa ba cha oni huhuamoa o so obesempa sanse still onimu se ye woni pa bebire e wo Canada ha enei saafo ni nyina omo nsem fata se o so wotena ha but still omo da so wa ha nti oni bibia aka boko betena banya no so a oho na ye behu se oloko hoi sana oyeje now the empesa me de to minuan Ghana fo anim ne se minuan Ghana fo yi mepamocho Canada a land of unlimited opportunities. Let me borrow this word from Mr. Bruce. Big up to you, Bruce Willis. Na me fan to money say opportunities wa ha. Wa ba bedu. O ba ye no. Ya be hia anase ye nyina ye de odo abodom ye de namfo abeye nuanom. Bra. Nipa bebre afre. What we know we tell them. Paje ni pa o. Nipa bebre afre. Opeloya ye de omukọ. Nipa bebre afre opa accommodation e obi a ye mo mu bi. Nipa bebre afre opa adwuma ye mo mu bi se obi a nti be say de to anim say this is the time I also will settle down. 1 SAT stay away from trouble. Hweye even at all. So we dey dru ama ya frew am wako hearing. Empo yaji wotum say ye the permanent resident we ye accepted immigrant kra na ukonya recorder sister bra wanye careful kruma won sene ha enti mo woni na ho de bia ye kan sem we say ebere bi atwam wo are oba na omutimi take bia 2 months 3 months kono mo pass eligibility na say bibia da na kwam but this time around no omo say years abam I think say be 2 years and son our no bibia is successful afi who choose partners who choose ni ye sebe enkofo obi a woda welfare so a woji abansika pacho tie pa na hye no so Milo TV Toronto Canada gonna have fun body bim body boom barbem subscribe we are no like no comment na afi wa share disclaimer menye immigration lawyer menye immigration consultant nti aba mche opi enuanam momomani na ho do not drink and drive drink and afi so no and drive without driver's license eriko cheche mo niema pi monto mo boase life no A before B ofri A now ko B now ko C D E you know 1 before 2 before 3 kojo ntwinwim bo se abofra suanante ansa na wasua America 2 you know nti to boas na atenase akora bon se wotenase na wabu ahwe wotenase na wabu ahwe omu ana afi otimit na omu ana wa hya ase se okro na wowia ene so kra wowia na watofom na was awofo nso omu bere na watofom na wasori saa kakra na afi otimi wia na wa hya ase na otutu osu ade ma na wagina ho kakra na afi ene so bunkam fa so sabe na wabayire kase se bori ka wensen na wagina ho bawe afi otimi nante na afi akora wa hya ase se onante a onto no boasio na wa hya ase minika na no ajawajo about time mo breo awofo nyame nhira mo pa ye ma menom ye nuamma ye yerenom ye nananom nyame onhira mo pa Milo TV Toronto Canada abusia ye wa brochi on ye wa this man in Germany your friend is so bright masa man o kasa o kasa tini ye pa o ye se woni pani na okono obi tu ne bafo a na wofa bi aden atu kotodwem sanse de pani eti wo hu no ofo alipra wo hu nti dan ni dan nyina wo we do ne se to bo ase na mo woni na ho ne tie afutisem na abofra obonwa na ommo achichide so for bright ake kansem bi na asem na akama koma we need to spread this information nti yanko na ensem a so for bright o Germany o ye Ghana ni na ni Africa kra na bodwe fitaa bi sa na type Facebook no na se for that man okasa tie ne tie no mpre no wakanse bebre o se life no anama obetu bia no e won a challenge the man is not lying he is making sense okay step bia obetu e wo life bia no e won a challenge obu a bon say o two challenge by na no give up no quitters never win and winners never quit de bia no konko wonim obra ye okon gitum se obra ye okon life is war life na nya better sa wo nka ye baaye no ka yakofu dua wo so amaska na program am yasesa nti abusua momienko na yenkotie nsem a sofo bright oka ne ento so Milo TV Toronto Canada bare bim
ya boy owo ba amane wanwo ba amane otu kwanya amane wantu kwanya amane oware a amane wanware nso a amane otu kwanya so ba ho abusua mobo timi nkoye dan kakra mfa won tena mu a na wunia bi de ne baye epe waku afiri ho woto wadwene mu a enye yie usimatu kwa menko ametena a enye se wo be famia abusua na bodime nkofa bi nua bi meka me ho wo kofa na be ka ho a wone wa yaka je se bibia ni ho a ewo abrabomu a e de ani gebra nipa forever ono okuno te fe all of a sudden na yabe bia be bona be ma ni tumi nante bio ono yere te fe wo hwa so okwa adwuma de obete odoma nko agu abefa nko abrochire bi ma wo mba eti ha egu ha o ma bomerwa o mda so kodi dwa kwada no meboa won je se bibia ni wa wiase we e de ani gebra nipa ebebere wani ja wo be ye be ma de wo be kwa kodina so de ma koye wedding I love you fe wo be wo ba ko mi no mi ensa wa wo be tia no na wadanfo de chi ya pambo wa ye do na fi wa be ye victim je se mi hunu ade a ade ani gebra nipa wo wiase we forever ene te me metu yi madwena no maye madwena je se ka de bodanfo ade ketewa bia baba mabrabo mu bia no me appreciate ade bia e be free mabrabo mu bia no me hyanya me ya ni bonyam because ma hu se bibia ni wa e ba ya brabo mu ma ya nije forever abrabo aye boy ye ni mo china o koda unim sa ade be chew sa ade nchew o be bo bra fe we ya brant hada ka papam ebedu babi no 20 years wontimi kita end drive ka bio ebedu babi na ka won kwa sika da bank wonya nipa no aduane ma wonni bebre na babrochi ana no mo fefefe ebebo abrabo papa woko pension mo ne nanenam kroma te se do mo ni nipa kora wo na abrabo because ne ma yi na ma ne yire wu ama ne ma apono benia se me hu mo social media on na emaya no especially me hu mrantia mu di mpanifo atema na mo ye me bo me nipa chikura me ntumi ndi na atemu mpanifo no yaso we ye panyini we ye ohene we na chikura me ntumi ndi watemu da nipa chikura me ntumi ndi panyini atemu na chi because me nim se ohunta dia chire no obi ehumi ya nyame ehume Deuteronomy 29:29 wose niyema ehunta Nyankopon dia na de oda na di yeme yema dia nti bibia me ka fa obi hu okokwo no me nim se nyame ache Numbers chapter 12 Miriam ne Aaron ko didie Moses atem no ni ho bata wurade te e no ode kwata ma Miriam no ya nti me ntumi ni opanyina atem de chi da ewi ase we chire me obi betima so na me sofo panyini nyame amanteme obetina stroke bi di na to na church neko sofo bi opaja se fa ne kwadwo boache gidi wa mama wa bia wa mbre mi bibia ni amaji akwada no me we me ka che me papa Yesu obeye we stroke de kwa stamando ne papa Yesu afini ngi ase we nothing is permanent fashion otirimo the biara ni wa ya permanent wa brabom ntunya ba bi na ugina aya bunipa hambo me bunipa because me nim nipa obeje me daache wa me mfa wonya hwe no me mfa wonya tawa mfa nhye maburu bie mu ebeduru ba bi na me hia wo se poma me de benante na de me de ye wontimi nya poma enso na nka be tiba ye me poma daache enia the world is unfair ya brochire ya ba ye ya ba ne fefe ye na bofo de do na be wu ha ya me no ka se de ne mawie ya ewi ase ya bola ye nim de wo ye nim daache o de mama ye no do ye ho mo gina social media di atem mama ho so na mo pagya mo mere na mo ho ya me mo bo betimi hwe mo dim se report ba ko pe betimi afri doctor ho aba unkoku ukuwo unko bibiew o ma yenye komoache ye no do ye ho ne bre ye ho se na nipa nya hwe emo akora na na edwane mponko na na mkora wa ho de nche ye nipa o tu fo nyankopo